Very good evening to one and all assembled in this beautiful hall. I'm privileged to be having the opportunity to sit along with Professor Cletus, Mr. Vinayak, Mr. Akash, and dear student. She should be at the head of this table. And of course, Dr. Karuna Sagar as well. With the theme, right, the key word in the theme for this year's World Food Day, I have been contemplating. We always talk about our rights, about right to food, right to quality. But what is our duty towards that right was exemplified in the question asked by one student in the audience regarding the wastage. There are ever so many questions of this sort that come up in our mind that would reflect what we owe to society before we think what is our right, when we say there should be right to food, okay? So on that note, I think it's a wonderful opportunity to have a galaxy of people from the sector, academicians, and more importantly, individuals who are in the field working with technologies or working with aspects of the industry. That truly will be an eye-opener for all of us who are listening. And I would like to therefore open the discussion, first of all, with the theme that they have kept for the panel discussion, that is paving the way for a sustainable food future, balancing nutrition, technology, and accessibility. And towards that, we have the specialists here who can enlighten us on nutrition, on technology, on accessibility, okay? And global challenge, of course, hunger, malnutrition, wastage, climate change have all been presented very beautifully in the previous talk and explained why we are placed low on the global food, on the hunger index. It was being actually debated, how could we be so low? But hunger index does not just mean satisfying yourself with the food that you are eating and everyone else around you is getting food to eat. But we see that in the global platform, they are looking at a lot of issues before they decide to place us or rank any part of the world in the global hunger index. Even I did not know. I have been learning, listening to Karuna Sagar's presentation, and that is why I dare to now understand better, though I always think there's a lot of politics in giving ranks. And I thought we were unnecessarily being placed low on that hunger index, when in fact, examining all the different indices that are taken up, I feel yes, we need to move a lot higher to find ourselves maybe at the top or nearly at the top, okay? So what we need towards sustainable food future would be finding solutions that will balance all of the aspects, whether it is nutrition, technology, or accessibility, to make it sustainable. Towards this, we know collaboration, coordination, this is the way. And the government has been doing her bit by talking about multi-sectoral involvement in many, many issues. The days of working in silos are gone. And everyone realizes that if we want to take what little we do in the precincts of a laboratory to a higher level, we need to have experts and we need to have people with that, what belly you call? Hunger in the belly. You want to do something and that is why you are here. So I'm very grateful that having, say, the government's doing or saying everything is not enough, we as individuals from the academic sector, young people are here because you are the future. You have heard it always, but you are the present and you are the future, okay? So, getting together with the industry in order to benefit society is the hallmark of whatever we do today. As Professor Cletus, can I begin with you? Now, when we talk about nutrition and food security, one thing is the access to nutritious food is to be ensured. Now, how can that be done for all populations, especially those in low-income areas, because affordability is a question that was mentioned. I can share with you this mic.
Thank you, Madam. I have very few things to say because, first of all, my background is only from biochemistry point of view. And the more I study about food, I find that although technology is supposed to help make this food last longer and made available to people who need it, technology has also come in the way of actually making this food available to us. I was shocked to learn that the tomato ketchup that we use does not use tomatoes, that it is manufactured without tomatoes. So I was always wondering, in India, we have 1 year, we have tomatoes selling at 100 rupees a kilo. Another year, the farmers can't even find the price to sell it at a loss, so they just dump it on the roads and go. Why is this happening? So if there are these ketchup companies, they can buy these tomatoes and process it. That is where I came to know that they don't use tomatoes to make ketchup. So is technology good? I don't know. Are they giving us the right food? I don't know. We have lot of, if we walk into any supermarket, we have lot of items for edible items. We call them as food-like material. They are not foods. They look like food, they taste like food, they are eaten as food, but they are not food. They are manufactured items. So this again is giving you a false sense of nutrition, that you are having so much carbohydrate, so much of protein and so much of fat, but that is purely could be just chemicals. And next we have, if there is a way where what is produced by the farmer can directly be made available to the consumer, then without the intervention of technology, we could probably, in a place like India, where we have 12 months in a year, we have suitable climatic condition to grow something or the other. And if we can use this, that would probably make this food last longer and distributed in a much better fashion. So these are my few thoughts.
No, you're very right. I think much of all this information comes also through WhatsApp. So while WhatsApp University very often is spreading a lot of wrong information, but there could be sometimes right information, because when we look at the glut, and you rightly pointed out, a farmer can't even get some money for or break even, and they have to dump it on the road. When such is the case, how can these companies keep on selling? At least it's food for thought for all those who have been buying and eating what is contained in that. Milk is another product in which we see this kind of adulteration taking place, with urea and other products. Thank you. Now, having said that, we know about plant-based diets, sustainable agriculture, and local food systems, and their role in nutrition and environment susceptibility. Mr. Vinayak, I know you work with jackfruit products, but in the context of talking about nutrition, sustainability of the industry with which you're working, since it's plant-based, do you think it would be a sustainable option going the way you are moving? No, in terms of nutrition, in terms of sustainability, environment sustainability, and in terms of, I should say, the support that you would get from the technology that you are working with, how far do you think you can go with all this? It's literally educating all the young people so they can ask you a lot about it, more.
Yes, madam. I think that is actually a right, things which is currently going on. There is lot of technology which is available in the overseas, but which is not, accessible to Indian market. See, this when it comes to sustainability, actually, I have heard about one of the, practice in Tanzania and African countries, where they are only having 1 acres. In 1 acres, apart from salt and oil, they are able to cultivate each and everything what it is required for the home purpose. So everything, we call it as the integrated farming system actually. So that means, so we should encourage the locally available or locally grown material first thing. So instead of that, and what we do, see, there is a huge gap between the awareness on the locally available foods, what we can do with the local products, and because there was no proper education on the products and what is the nutrition, what we are lacking. Or so now we are having lot of necessary technology to retain the nutritional, to retain the original taste, because there is currently, if you see some of the market, if you go to metropolitan cities, there is no value for the money, there is only value for the quality. The people are ready to pay for the right product. Even they say, I don't mind paying 20 rupees if the same product is available at 5 rupees. So they just mind caring about the nutritional, because there is a difference between the nutritionally rich product versus the just product. So now we do have a product. Because we understand the product, we understood the problem, what it is there in the snacks industry. Yes, all the snacks are being currently fried in the oil with a deep fat frying oil, which has a 200 to 230 or 300 degrees Celsius with a continuous fryer. So there is a chances of formation of acrylamide, which is the carcinogenic for the heart disease. So hence what we brought a solution. So what is the solution? We should cook the product below the 100 degrees Celsius. How do you do it? What technology is there? Will it usually work on the frying? So if you are frying under the less than 100 degrees Celsius with the open pan, we cannot do it. It absorbs all the oil and just take out the oil, these things. So when we thought, okay, vacuum frying with the negative pressure with the 600, there is one technology called vacuum frying. We adopted that technology, which is very common in the China, Singapore, Thailand, USA, and other part of the countries. This vacuum frying technology is very new to the India. But there are competitors already who are only looking after the profitability of the company. They are only taking advantage of the money. So we were looking at the perspective of giving a nutritional product which does not spoil even the oil soluble or maybe fat soluble vitamins and minerals. It should not be destroyed. So we chose that technology just to have that balanced nutritionally available products. So, and that is the way we see, there are a lot of technology available. If you see nowadays, I think you might have heard about that, a toasted product with or without oil. So now people even ready to take without oil. So when I say that vacuum fried oil, fried means they have, okay, anyhow it's a fried, whether 5%, 10%, 15%, they think it's a fried. So again people started investing on, okay, let us go for the toasted. Toasted is only at hot air dryer, something like. There was one more guy, I was just discussing with somebody else. There was one guy in Gujarat who has developed that masala dosa without any kind of oil, without any kind of this. It is a toasted masala dosa. He has got good market. It is a fermented product. I like dosa because fermented product is very good for my gut health. So I want to have it. So masala dosa, fermented product available in the snacks, just like open it and just eat it. I buy it actually. So that I buy it. So that is a way, people are, looking at innovative now, currently. That's what I said in my previous session. I said, I just wanted to invent one particular compressed meal. I just want to have it because where now I shifted here, I have only rice and sambar, very small rice and sambar. I don't have complete balanced nutrition. I want to have compressed one meal which should give my instant nutrients to everything. I wanted to enrich that rather than fortifying it. So that is the way I wanted to, give solution to the people which can be affordable and accessible to the everybody.
Okay, going forward from there, and now you have expressed your own experience to everyone. So how do you propose to market this nutrition education to, say, the community, since you are a business person, I'm asking you, and how can you do it? Of course, when you do it at school level, it's like educating students on it. That's fine, the future market makers, if I can call them. But as of now, how do you propose to talk about the nutritional benefits of the technologies that you have in mind by reaching out to the community?
Yes. So there is a gap between the industries to people.
Exactly.
There is a huge.
Marketing is a big thing.
There is a big gap. So I studied in agriculture university.
Okay.
So we have a course only to deploy the students to the 2.5 months to 3 months to the village.
Yes, yes.
So we had made awareness to around every year we have around 5 batches. So 5 batch goes to around 7 villages. So we started from the root level. So awareness should come through the college stage only. And as you know, madam, already currently nowadays only we are food technology people are there in the departments. So earlier, food and civil supply, whatever the child and women development, there is a posters availability. But the right person is not been hired for that right position. So there are only like a deputed kind of, because yes, there was lack of food technology courses on those period. Yes, now food technology is available since 2000. I think I am a 5th batch of Karnataka for the food technology. So there is 5 batch has been passed out. But still we fighted for the C&R rules cadre and all to change and all. But now it is happening. But still there is some kind of awareness gap is always there in the rural side, yeah, which corporate has to take initiative to give a campaign, to do sessions, like how our Asha Karyakarta used to do it and our small, that is a gap, it is there. We have to step forward to spend something to the awareness, programming. Advertise will not work out. We have to reach face to face. That is how.
Yeah, thank you. Mr. Akash, I was just looking at, role of technology. If I understand right, you are also a food processing innovator. Do I understand right? Huh? Okay, you're from cashew processing, which is, of course, there's no one who can resist cashews. And from a single, I should say, vendor who we all know for the last few years, we now have so many people in the business of cashew. And what was once only a luxury available at the table for very few is today something very common, Having said that, what are all the innovations in the processing technologies with regard to cashew processing? Because you see that there is a lot of innovation that is going on, right? So can you throw some light relating the development in the technologies and the nutritional value of the cashew? How do you look at it being a business?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, cashew is from, and when we see from ancestors, it's like traditional processing we had. Like if I go back for last 30 years back or 40 years back, so it was all traditional cutting. We had all hand cutting, people coming, doing in a hand cutting, and they were processing it. So they were getting the local nuts and we used to process. But today, in today's date, we have a very modernized machineries, which is highly expensive also and highly efficient also. Where a normal labor used to cut 10 kg per day, now we would cut 100 tons per day. So that is a capacity where we have developed in cashew markets globally, not only India, it's globally. So we are a tropical line of in the world. So where cashews are grown high in African, Indian, Indonesia side and American side. So in this process, so we see many good qualities coming outside. More, what do you say? We don't get wastage more. We get yield more. So that is what we see in this industry by technology. And technology is one of the goodest way to feed our country, and even we can export. So that makes economy of India and also developing. So in nutrition fact, what you asked is like, as that it was a traditional way, the nutrition was good in that, because machinery makes a bit of changes in nutrition, because somewhere we heat it more, or we don't make properly, we don't get accurate. But before in tradition it was very good. I've seen many people asking me in different ways, like we used to get some different kind of cashews, and now we are getting different kind of cashews. So we have a lot of change in market.
Of course, that brings me to the next question. Do you think biotechnological advancements have helped in this process? Because today we have so many grades available. We also have sometimes in the packets cholesterol free written as an added value. I want to know how true are all those sentences in marketing?
Yes, actually they tell it is a cholesterol.
Cholesterol is an animal fat. It's not made by plants. So when you say cashews are cholesterol free, you're telling the truth, but it's also, I would say it's a marketing strategy, because it's not supposed to have cholesterol. It is like advertising water, saying that zero calorie drink.
Yes. So, do you think these developments that are taking place in the field of cashew production through research, sometimes it's research in your own industry that goes on, do you think all that will help to enhance food security? Because now we are talking a lot about food security, right?
Yes.
But I also mentioned the word right was there in the theme, you know, right to food.
Right to food.
Of course, cashew is not going to be called a food, you know, like being a cash crop. Nobody fills the stomach only by eating cashews. But how do you propose, if at all, through biotechnological approaches, add value to some other food through the cashew if there is excess, you know? Can you add that to other foods? Like they make a paste and add sometimes to enhance the quality of certain curries, right? So in that direction, as a nutraceutical also, are you looking at the use of cashew?
Yeah, but nowadays we come with the new products, development products, or we use value-added products. So cashew will be used not only in only just to munch. We use it in flavoring.
Cashew
or
butter
cashew
for the
butter.
face.
No, one of our industrialist, Achal Cashew, has come with cashew butter, which is really good. But might be it's expensive for the cashew. It's a premium category. But now we have come with new product, that is cashew butter. We have seen choco butter, we have seen peanut butter, hazelnut butter. But this is something in Mangalore. They have started with new technology. And also when we see in the other way, we have some other mixes, like there's a super food, we call it as panchameva, which is a mix of cashew, raisins.
Nuts,
So and people are very health conscious nowadays, and most of them promote the protein things or any superfoods, like we have makana, and they have cashews, almonds are good. Even they come with almond milk, soya milk, which is they say which is milk, I mean like lactose free. It's like a vegan.
Yes.
So
vegan.
that is all technology which includes everything to the new process.
No, sky is the limit when it comes to fortification, or when it comes to novel ways of using some of the product, because people want to experiment, especially youngsters, and that is the best market, you know. Cashew nut is one part of it, but you as a company, as a person working in the cashew industry, have you ventured into using the cashew apple? We hear Hello? Okay. We hear of cashew, that is fenny only from Goa usually. Maybe other places in small volumes it is made. But have you all attempted on an industrial scale to use the cashew apples, because that goes waste actually?
Yes, actually, in Upputtur we have cashew scientists and cashew college.
Oh.
So there they have developed a product called cashew squash, the cashew apple squash, which is in the market recently from last 1 year, I guess.
Okay.
It is really good if you because you don't get cashew apple throughout the year.
Yeah.
So it will be like you can use that squash and use it whenever you want to drink. It will be the same taste and same fragrance what we used to eat in season of April, May.
You want to say something? Yeah.
I have attended one, Deralakatte one college is there, Nitte, same Nitte college. I attended a technology day once. I met one of the professor who was working on the cashew fruit, that apple, cashew apple. So there is some kind of bitterness or astringency there in the that cashew fruit.
Is it? Maybe try this one. Have the organizers set it to some kind of...
So we have trying to make out, because we are collaborating with that professor, sir. So we are trying to make out some vacuum fried apple chips, actually cashew apple chips, which can give a value addition to that particular product, and can also increase some kind of benefit to the farmers, which can bring some little penny to the farmer family, which again they can spend it on the food and cloth. So that is what we planned, but there is some research going on for that astringence, because some people say it's not good for the throat or something. I'm not detailedly gone it, but I'm supporting on the trials for the vacuum fried chips.
Yeah, but I think in addition to that, for utilizing the apple, there are issues like storage, because now cashew is not harvested like, because it's mostly fallen. So I think a lot of apple gets wasted because it's not properly harvested. So I think that needs to be addressed. Now, if it becomes an industry, then you need volumes. So you need good quality raw material. So I think that aspect also needs to be considered. Yeah.
Now the next, I'd like you to tell us something. How do you look at disparities in accessibility of food between urban and the rural population? How do you think FAO addresses also this kind of disparities?
Yeah, no, what FAO is trying to do, there are two things. One thing is the small producers. So FAO is trying to see how they can provide support to small producers versus big. Of course, big producers already they have technology, they have money to invest. So how to help the small producers? So they come up with documents which help the small producers. Now, for example, implementation of HACCP, you may say. HACCP, you think, oh, it's a big system, you need a lot of people, you need experts. But then FAO has come up with documents how small producers can implement food safety using the concept of HACCP. You may not go through all the steps, but following the concept and contributing to safety. So that is one thing. Another thing FAO is also trying to promote is to encourage farmers to come together to form a group. Now, of course, certification is another important issue. Farm certification, good aquaculture practice certification, good agriculture practice certification. So for single small producers it's not economical, it will not a viable situation. But then FAO has come up with guidelines to support this group certification. So it's not just one farmer, so a group of farmers can be certified once they follow same practices. So FAO is considering, because their main clientele is mainly it's small producers and the rural area. So that is high in the mind agenda of FAO, and they, in all aspects they consider, okay, how can we benefit? Now even for example, they had these 5 keys for safe food. Safe, that is well known, that is applicable for in houses and all that. But how can we make this available to small, say, aquaculture producers? Big aquaculture producers, they have big farm. So that's why they came up with this guideline of 5 keys to safe aquaculture, which small producers can also follow. So it is technically very simple. So it is done in a lot of illustrations. So there are a number of ways by which FAO is trying to communicate and bring out documents and make these documents available in different languages, because particularly in a country like India, there are so many languages. You need to reach out to small producers in rural area in different states. So it is important to do that. So that is also being considered by FAO. So this kind of approaches are there in FAO, how to benefit small producers, small farmers, and also increasing accessibility and creating awareness also.
Thank you. Now I would like to ask our young panelist, what do you think about the impact of climate change on food production? This climate resilient agricultural practices are being discussed a lot. And the climate change is a universal phenomenon. Now it has become so. That being the case, can we look at any other country in the world that could serve as an example for us to look at climate resilient agriculture? That is one. And how can we, when I say agriculture, it doesn't include only the plants. I'm talking also about animals, growing them also. So, because the moment you have livestock growing, carbon footprint is the main question. How do you think these issues can be addressed in the context of the vagaries of climate that have come about? What is your opinion?
It is very true that climate change is a very big issue, and it's not like a single country issue or anything. Everyone is facing it and everyone is very much affected by it. But the thing is that, how people say now the next big industry is going to be the one who tackles the climate change. So when it comes to food in general, specifically when it comes to animal produce, they are the biggest contributor of climate change when it comes to the food sector, because the fodder that is fed to them and the amount of land, amount of water that is used for just to rear like one animal is very huge. So because of that, a lot of veganism trend is also going on, and plant-based trend is also going on to tackle these issues. But I would say that climate change is not just by reducing the animal produce in general, but then also adapting a proper plant-based diet. And when it comes to plant-based diet, I feel like most Indian diets are mainly situated on the plant-based diet concept itself. So we can't be like, you completely just stop a particular industry and to completely support another industry. And so it has to be like a gradual change, but the gradual change has to be pretty fast also, because it's a very fast approaching problem that you're facing. At the same time, to address your first question about which country can we look on, I feel like Singapore is a very good country to look on, because the first thing is that they don't have any land to produce much agriculture at all. They're a very small country, but they're very self-sustainable because of them including a lot of technology and also being very forward when it comes to adapting technology which has as low carbon footprint as possible, while also giving good nutrition to its population, also adapting policies which helps them to overcome these problems. And in the same way, I feel like India is not that behind when it comes to climate change. We just had G20 conferences. India is taking a very active part in this. And it's also a very growing concern, but the thing is that India is also very blessed with biodiversity and sustainable foods that we already have, and indigenous foods that we are already inculcating in our diets. So if we were to promote that more at our stages, or even if we promote that more at a larger stages, I think we'll be able to tackle climate change a lot more efficiently, and we can stand as an example for other countries. And that would be very much helpful too.
See, because the limitation of water and of course alternate sources of energy are very much being worked upon, whether it is from the waves or whether it's from the wind or from sunlight, yes, solar. But when it comes to water, especially all the coastal areas, I think South Africa has this salinity resistant crops. And if you take Israel, in fact, their agriculture university is very, very advanced in the kind of technologies that one can look to see if you don't have fresh water, how you can have the plants through biotechnology and genetic engineering adapted to grow in high salinities, almost in desert area, because they don't have any water at all, right? So, and everything is like a desert there, and yet production is at its peak there. And of course, Netherlands is another country that can serve as a good example, probably. I'm just thinking, after I asked you the question, I started thinking about some of the answers. Okay. So yeah, that what you say, our strength has been our diversity. And therefore, even when there was recession and demonetization, even when the whole world was once struck in such a way, India was fine because we produce, we don't import everything. See, Singapore almost gets everything, repacks and then sends. But as such, growing, making, I think India is doing well on that. No? And it will do even better probably in the years to come. Okay, that's very good. Now, we come probably to talk a little bit about policies and regulations. Now, you mentioned a lot about regulatory frameworks and all, no? And what can be done, Karunasagar, for public-private collaborations to become even stronger than what it is now? Because though we talk about it, I think the public sector and the private sector, there are attempts being made for them to come together, but still it doesn't somehow work as well as it should, if I'm right, okay? And that may be my opinion. How can it be made to work better is the next question. First is why it's not. Next is how can we think about it, because this is a forum where we can talk without anybody stoning us, okay?
Yeah, I think we need to encourage more and more young people to get into, of course, now I think India is already moving in that direction. Of course, here, my colleague, he is an agriculture graduate, but he is an entrepreneur. So he is having his own enterprise. So he is a self-employed person. So like that, you need more and more young people to become self-employed, adopt new technologies, like what he is doing now. Of course, in his old, though he is an agriculture graduate, he has adopted number of technologies to process food and how to bring out new products to the market. And I think India is now doing good in this direction, particularly by encouraging startups. So there are a lot of facilities for startups. There is a lot of funding available. And of course, we have a technology enabling center also at NETE, which is supporting young people. Now, if you have some idea how to develop this into make it a technology and start your own startup. So I think there is a lot of encouragement. So we want to see more and more young people to go in this direction and try to get, say, how will private sector develop unless more people come? It's not that only one or two big companies which can do this, but every individual has that entrepreneurial ability. So if that can be promoted and developed, I think we can go in that direction. And we see a good trend now, but that needs to be further enhanced. And I think at both center as well as state level, state is also having number of programs. There are number of incubators, support, funding available. So I think young people should take more and more bold steps to get into this and see how you can become entrepreneurs and contribute to the development in the country. Thank you.
Thank you.
Should come, actually.
Yeah.
We really, if you see agriculture trend actually now, there is a huge downside actually. If you say North Karnataka or some other region actually, when the farmer started wearing pant and shirt, so he stopped doing agriculture. He stopped doing agriculture. So young people has to come to agriculture. That agriculture should grow, then automatically the solution will come what to do with the produced quantity. So that's what I always encourage people to come for agriculture, because that is a base actually. So a lot of agricultures are holding their own lands and all. See, I see that is a huge difference actually. When farmer started wearing pant and shirt, he started thinking that I don't want my pant to be met with the soil. So he stopped doing agriculture. I've seen my own, my relatives. 8 ಎಕರೆ 10 ಎಕರೆ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಪ್ಯಾಂಟ್ ಶರ್ಟ್ ಯಾವಾಗ ರೈತ ಹಾಕಿದ ಆವಾಗ he stopped himself trying to avoid. So I think young team should come to agriculture. I always wanted to be support that.
While your point is good, people are turning away from agriculture, but we need to remember that there are no great contingency plans. See, you have a small garden at home, a mango tree, some few fruit trees, the number of pests, you don't want to use chemicals, you don't get a produce that can sustain your living. Even a farmer, an agriculturist, maybe he cannot sustain his living with that. We read about the loans, about the difficulties, because I think the returns, because we are all talking about the minimum support price, there is so much of problem in the whole country that is being debated,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Now, I think if the returns are fairly good, and if there is a contingency plan in case of disasters, in case monsoon fails, in case there is flooding and they lose, if there is a very strong contingency plan, I think at least some people.
There is a risk actually. We always say that is nature always gambling with the farmers. This is a gambling of nature versus farmers. We cannot do anything for the over crisis or maybe environmental factors. But still there are certain things which can be controlled by us.
Sure.
By adopting new technologies in the agriculture system, drip irrigation, land irrigation, recharging the bore wells. There are a lot of things actually.
Absolutely.
My brother is entomologist.
Yeah.
Okay, he is a PhD entomologist from the agriculture TNAU. So we collaboratively trying to do something to our our side. I said, you work on this project, I work on this project. Wonderful. Why can't we just take a people's? Yesterday I was speaking to one cluster. I said, you guys have to have awareness is not there.
Wonderful.
The problem with the farmers is awareness is not there.
Awareness. And
awareness.
Education is the key to everything,
yes.
And I think we are nearly done, but one last question for Professor Cletus. Now we are always told, at least we follow it at our age, yes, but we are told to encourage the local kind of food habits, which is good for the gut, considering the microbiome also. Though we are told this way, and our generation would be okay with the local food, but there is such a market change in the next generation that would want a lot of, the packaged material foods and all. From the nutrition perspective, from their own, correction of, say, micronutrients or everything else that they get from the local produce, how can that, it's a policy question literally, how can that be addressed, sir?
I think it has to be done on an individual level rather than as a policy matter. For example, to give you just one example, my son was growing using hydroponics in his balcony, and he was getting vegetables, microgreens, more than he could eat and distribute, and so much so that he had to sort of give it up because there's so much of overgrowth. If he didn't take it harvest every day or every alternate day, it would start spoiling. Yes. So how much? It's just about 4 feet long and 3 feet wide. In that small thing, he could do it. We can do it here. And this way, we can get the microgreens that our youngsters are familiar with. You can have lettuce and you can have all kinds of exotic vegetables grown by hydroponics. You don't need much water, you don't need anything else, it just grows on the composition that is provided to you. So this is one way we can tackle the availability of food, production of food, and the global change that is affecting us. Global change is real, global weather change is actually affecting us. Just try buying one tender coconut now. You'll know the difference if you bought it 6 months back and now. Because of the weather change, coconuts are not growing. And so the price has shot up. So this is what is happening. This is where it is affecting us, and everything is interlinked. So somewhere we have to get in something new, and this new technology can probably overcome this. This is my understanding. It will take care of your nutrition, it will take care of your local things that grow in the locality, it will take care of your gut microbiome, it will take care of your food requirements.
Yes, that was a great message. Whatever you can in your kitchen garden, or using hydroponics, which sir mentioned, which is really wonderful to have enough for yourself to distribute to a few friends as well, without striving too hard, shows that there are many possibilities. So we had, of course, wonderful people who are from different sectors, cashew, jackfruit. Then we had our young budding food technologists, food scientists in the making, food technologists in the making. Yeah. Nutrition. Okay, that's all related. Food and nutrition cannot be separated. So, and with a message that rely less on junk food, because you really don't know what you are eating when you're eating that, and to rely more on what you can grow, you can make and eat at home, would call for, I should say, the right to better living, more nutritious food, and ultimately it will all reflect in your own, I should say, enlightenment with food. So thank you very much. Thank you all very much. And I thank the organizers for this opportunity to sit with an elite group of people. Listen, it has always been a learning experience whenever I've sat in any position, and today has been no exception. Thanks to the department faculty for organizing, and to the young people who are still here in the room. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you all for your insightful and engaging section. Now I request Dr. Daniela Kain, Head of Department of Food Science, to present a token of appreciation to Dr. Indrani Karunasagar. Thank you, ma'am. Now I request Dr. Hemachandra, Dean of School of Life Science, to present a token of gratitude to Dr. Cletus D'Souza.